Hello and welcome to this 1 a.m. Hermine update, and I was debating whether to even do an update, but, this storm was still not completely out of the woods. Now, Sunday, yesterday, was a very nice day. We actually had clear skies. You could see here on the infrared satellite that the clouds actually cleared for most of the day, and we actually had a clear day. But the clouds are starting to come back now. Now, Hermine moved a lot further east than a lot of the models were predicting, and I had a feeling that was going to happen, which is why I wasn't buying all the doom and gloom scenarios that were being put out there, but I still had concerns. However, it basically moved about 200 miles east of where the models predicted it would be. But now it's starting to turn northward and maybe even hook a little bit back northwest at us. And you can also see a lot of convection starting to fire here in the northeast side. Now, this is a post-tropical system. Basically, it's a hybrid, and it sort of looks a lot more like a nor'easter than a tropical system at this point. But it still has a combination of both. But more or less, it is an extratropical system that has extremely strong winds that are fortunately out to sea for the most part. So I want to take a look at a more higher resolution satellite image taken yesterday. Okay, so now let's look at a higher resolution satellite image. And we just push this in a little more so you can see a little better. That is Hermine, or what is post-tropical cyclone Hermine. And it still, like I said, this was earlier today, Sunday. You could see it still looks sort of like a tropical system in this particular picture. But it looks like a combination of tropical system and nor'easter, almost. As you can see, it's pretty far out to sea. So you can see the circulation, all the clouds pretty much out to sea. There's some clouds off to the south. But all the rain-bearing clouds and the rain bands and the winds are all in here, basically. So other than swells at the beaches, there wasn't really any problems. Obviously, big waves at the beaches, no swimming, obviously, because it's dangerous. And so this is another closer look here. And I just wanted you to take a look at something else too, because I noticed this when the sun was going down today. We had a lot of haze around toward the later in the afternoon. So I want to show you where that haze was coming from. It looked like there was an area of smoke. I don't know where it came from over northern New England that drifted over our area later in the day. So that like more toward evening. That's kind of an interesting feature. I have no idea where that came from. But anyway, this is basically another shot of Hermine here toward later in the afternoon. So now we're going to look at some lightning data to see if there's any lightning, because there is convection here. So you could sort of see the convection on the northeast side. So I want to, yes, there are some lightning strikes in convection over here. Way out in the distance, there are some lightning strikes. So there is some convection going on. And this is a sign of intensification because it's over warm water, basically, and it's picking up strength. Water temperatures probably in this particular area over the Gulf Stream could be 80 degrees or more, probably over 80. But as the storm drifts north and westward, when it makes that hook, it's going to go over cooler waters and weaken. So now let's take a look at what the models are going to do. Okay, so before I get to that, I just want to show you the update from I almost forgot about the update from the Hurricane Center. Post-tropical cyclone Hermine as of 11 p.m. yesterday, Sunday, September 4th. It is located at, well, I'm not going to read the whole, pretty much shows you where it's located at. 37 degrees north, 68.5 west. Maximum sustained wind 70 miles an hour. And the movement has slowed to a crawl. It is now north-northeast at 3. So it's pretty much almost stalled, like all the models are saying. We knew it was going to stall because there's an offshore ridge here, and there's also an upper low that's kind of got it trapped. But it is stalled further east than the models were basically saying. So now let's go to those aforementioned models. So this is the GFS model. And we're going to see what happens. Look at the number up at the top, and that'll tell you where it goes. This is into tomorrow. You can see it's staying pretty far offshore, but then you see how it starts hooking back tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night into Tuesday. It starts hooking back a little bit, but it's still too far to really impact us. And we have no, by the way, the tropical storm warning has been dropped for Nassau County. It has been dropped for Jersey Shore. It's still in effect for Suffolk County. And you can see why, because the eastern end of Long Island is closer to the center of the storm where the winds. I think that any wind damage would be very isolated as far as power outages goes. The main effect is going to be the rough surf and some beach erosion on the east end of Long Island. So you can see here what the GFS does. It's still very slow to take it out. But you can see as it moves north, it starts losing strength as it gets over the cooler water. And then we have a big ridge that's going to build in. The Atlantic ridge is going to come back, and it's going to be hot and humid once we get around to Thursday and Friday. Unfortunately, that is back again. Summer just will not die. This is one of the hottest summers we've ever had. Okay, so this is the Euro. You see Hermine there. Euro is probably still a little faster with taking it out. You can see it's hooked back to the west. You can see it's hooked back a little bit. The Euro brings it a little closer to southern New England, but again, really too far east. It really spares our area, and then that huge ridge again builds up. So I just want to look now at the NAM. Okay, so we're looking at the NAM here, and here's Hermine. And it seems like there's an agreement generally on the track now. It generally takes Hermine. We don't get much rain at all. Maybe the east end gets some showers, but the worst of the winds, here we are into Tuesday, the worst of the winds come close to the east end here. And this is again Tuesday. And it's still, oh wow, it keeps it going right into, oh boy, that's a little disturbing. The NAM has it going right over Long Island. I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. So hopefully that's not a solution that we get. Alright, so basically you can see tropical storm warning's been dropped for Nassau and the Jersey Shore, but there are coastal flood warnings in effect. So I think we've dodged the bullet. East end generally would see the most impacts, but still I think that as far as wind damage goes, very, very isolated. Main issue going to be beach erosion and some coastal flooding. Alright, if anything changes, I'll keep you posted.